Deathcore!
Hi there, welcome to Long Distance Review, and on this episode I'm going to look at the new album released today from American Deathcore band Whitechapel. The album's entitled The Valley. Before I start, by the way, I keep getting some background noise outside. Someone's doing some building or something, so I apologise if you can faintly hear someone grinding outside. But hey, not a lot I can do about it really at the moment. So Whitechapel, The Valley. Whitechapel were formed back in 2006. And on this album, their lineup consists of Phil Bozeman on vocals, Ben Savage on lead guitar, Alex Wade on rhythm guitar, Gabe Crisp on bass, and Zach Householder as the third guitarist. Whitechapel have a sort of revolving Spinal Tap-esque door of drummers, but on this album, their drummer was Naveen Kuperweiss from a band called Entheos, and I probably pronounced none of that right. Like I say, this is their new album called The Valley. They've had 6 albums previous. This will be their 7th studio album. They first released their debut in 2006 called The Somatic Defilement. In 2008, they released This Is Exile. And then in 2010, they released A New Kind of Corruption. They released their self-titled album in 2012. And then Our Endless War in 2014. And then Mark of the Blade in 2016. Whitechapel have evolved their sound, let's say, from they were once a straight-up deathcore band, but by the time they got down to sort of Mark of the Blade, they'd introduced new elements into the band. Some clean singing was in there, and they were certainly coming away from just a straight-up deathcore sound into a more heavy metal. And this album's a real evolution in sound for them, let's just say. They certainly not focus more on the clean singing, but there's a lot more clean singing on here than on any of the albums beforehand. But this is just, to me, doesn't seem jarring. It's an evolution of what they've done before. And what we'll say is, as a fan base, as metal fans or rock fans, we're incredibly narrow-minded when bands try and do other things. I don't know any other genre like it, where we want to retain our bands. They've got to sound like that. They can't sound like anything else, and they can't do anything else. Wah, I want you to sound like you did on the first album. And I find it nuts, and it's so constricting. They're not our bands. You know, these bands should be allowed to do what they want. I remember when Suicide Silence released their album last year. No, I'm not saying it was a great album, but they tried to do something new, and it was experimental and a bit different, and everyone went just nuts about it, saying how terrible it was and how dare they try and do something different. There was even a petition online to stop them releasing the album. How dare we do things like that? It's not our band, we don't own them, they should do what they want. If you don't like it, don't listen to it. So yeah, I always find it crazy that we just don't let bands do anything, and if they try something new, we go, no, get back in your box. And anyway, that's a rant over with. And on the back of that, this is an evolution of their sound. This is a different sounding record and a more diverse record than anything they've ever released before. Now, it's a very personal album. The title, The Valley, refers to where Phil Bozeman grew up, and the album is all written about his upbringing and his childhood. He had a very difficult upbringing with his mother's mental issues and his stepfather's intrusion on their lives. And this album is Phil confronting incredibly dark subjects. He confronts them head on, and it's almost cathartic, I feel, for him. As a listener, it's a tough listen to at times, I guess. Musically, though, opener, When a Demon Defiles a Witch, which probably people have heard already as the video's out there on YouTube, is a stunning opener. It opens with this little clean guitar lick before ferociously and unrelentingly roaring into life, let's say. The chorus and bridge of that song really showcase the variations in Phil's vocals on this album. The lyrics at times, though, throughout this album are really so personal that they're tough to listen to. A good example of it is on second song, Forgiveness is Weakness, where Phil says, gather your friends and family so they can watch me piss and spit on your grave. Forgiveness is useless. it's just another form of weakness. I think the song referring to his stepfather. Yeah, so it's very tough to listen to. The subjects there's no holding back on this album at all. The subjects are all over it, and it's not difficult to read the lyrics and gather a sense of what he's getting at. Aside from that, though, first song they released off this album, Brimstone, is for the Whitechapel fans that go, oh, they don't sound like they used to, they're not as heavy as they were, wow, I want them to be heavy. They're unrelentingly heavy. Brimstone is a thunderous and pummeling number with filled lows almost hitting sort of pig squeals, and it really showcases the sort of raw brutality and aggression that the band have retained still. The album itself is a roller coaster of emotions, but also showcases a real diverse palette that the band have sort of evolved and gained. They evoke incredible atmosphere on the stunning Hickory Creek, which really is purely just clean vocals all the way through, but it shows the sort of heartbreak and pain through the vocals, but is also having aggression. His voice almost sounding like sort of Corey Taylor's does, but it's dripping in heartbreak and despair. Really, really stunning stuff on here. Songs like Black Bear will become a live favourite. You can see that one with his bouncy guitar line, along with Phil's almost sing-along vocal chorus. But they've not gone soft. And anyone that says, oh, Whitechapel, they've gone soft, they used to be harder, they're not looking at this album correctly. This album just showcases them, exploring new sounds. The sort of back and forth that Phil does with himself on his clean and harsh vocals on the wonderful Third Depth is really showcases their evolution in sound. I know I keep saying evolution, but it really is. And it's them sort of shaking off the shackles of deathcore, which is a very shackling genre. And we should be pleased that they're trying to do something different. The closer on this album, a song called Doomwoods, is a real brooding and creeping dark number that brings the album to a real sort of chilling close. I think this album's stunning, and I think that we should cherish albums like this where an artist has gone all out to lay themselves completely bare and for public consumption, basically. It's so personal that it is tough to listen to at the times. But we should applaud that. And it's made the band an incredibly more interesting band because of it. I'm pleased this album's come out because I've been struggling this year to find. I'm thinking, what's going to be the albums of the year at the end of the year? I don't think there's been anything great so far in 2019. I think this is the first truly great heavy metal album of the year, and I'll be very surprised if it doesn't make my top 20 at the end of the year. So go check it out. The singles are out on YouTube, but give it a listen. And let me know what you think, by the way, in the comments below. I'll try and get another album out next week. I've got the Devin Townsend album, but it's such a big album, it's going to take me a while to really get to grips with that. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.